Aubrey, we have a lot to talk about today, and I want to get right to it. We are answering some really tricky questions about if someone goes off topic in an IELTS essay, what does that do to your score? And we're going to give you guys some sample brainstorm answers for a really, really difficult writing task, too.
Yes, a lot of the task 2 prompts that we're seeing on the IELTS exam, they are getting more difficult, more tricky to brainstorm, and it's making it
Yeah.
easier and easier to accidentally go off topic or not completely answer the question. So today's brainstorm is really going to help you see how you need to be practicing so that you are ready for test day.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, today's question,
It's
it's
tough.
just going to be hard for most people to come up with ideas anyway. It's about computers and private data and stuff. So guys, listen up today. Today's episode is gold. But I want to call out a shout out to a former student, Ramses, because I want to recall how well he did on his IELTS exam. He was so proud of his scores. Listening 6.5, writing 6.5, speaking 7, reading 7. And I know that writing was a big challenge for Ramses. And because of our strategies, he got those amazing scores. And he even, if you're watching on YouTube, guys, you can see the mugs that he gave me and Aubrey. I'm showing it on video because he was so thankful to us
I
for
love you've
helping
made it
us.
a pen holder. I drink coffee
Yeah.
out of mine a lot. I love Thank you, Ramses. Shout out, amazing scores.
So guys, go way back in the feed, IELTS Energy 935, how Ramses laughs his way to an IELTS 7. But guys, the strategies for IELTS don't change. This is my point. The strategies that he used to get such amazing scores on his very first IELTS attempt, it's the same strategies today, guys. So let's get to it. We first have a question from a listener. Aubrey, can you read that question?
Yes, this was on YouTube. Hi, I just came across your video about how going off topic affects IELTS scores. I have just completed my IELTS writing exam, and I'm nervous that I may not be able to secure a band 6.5 in my writing. So I want to
Mm.
ask you for help and to help me judge if it really goes super off topic or not.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there, Aubrey, because I want to remind our listeners, how does going off topic affect scores and what does that mean? Aubrey, what does going off topic mean, first of all?
Yeah. So, first of all, that means that whatever the topic is, it's very clear the question you need to be answering, the topic you need to cover. And if you veer from that and your reasons and details and examples are answering a different question or are on a different topic, then you are off topic. And this affects your task response score for the task 2 essay. You cannot get a 7 or higher if you are not directly answering the topic you are given.
Exactly, guys. Every single sentence in your essay has to directly connect to words in the question. All right. If not, then you are off topic. Okay. At least a little bit. Now, for band six for task response says that you address all parts of the task or the question, but some parts may be more fully covered than others. So maybe you just you paraphrase some of the key words in the first paragraph, and then you never talk about it again. You could still get a 6, right? Because the idea does exist in your essay, but you drop down to a 5 if you only address part of the question. All right. So if you leave out half of that question, you don't talk about it anywhere in your essay, but you do talk about half of it, you can still get a 5 for task response.
Yes. Now, your vocabulary score can also be affected
Yeah.
because if you go off topic and you're using vocabulary that's not related, you need a range of vocabulary for the task, and you need to show that you have vocabulary on the topic you're being asked about.
Right. Exactly, exactly. All right. So let's continue with this question. The student continues. So the question I got was, in this technological era, personal information is stored on computers by a lot of organizations and companies in some countries. I mean, gosh, that's
Tough.
a word salad there. Like
Yes.
there's just so many words there. It would be tough to sort it out. So our three key strategies, guys. when you are reading the task 2 question, you need to be underlining the keywords while you read, okay? Helps you focus. And then the question continues, do you think this development's advantages outweigh its disadvantages? So she said, I completely overlooked the phrase stored on computers. My stance was that the advantages do not outweigh the disadvantages. And her point was that, like, companies are able to use the data for evil. And then she talked about the other side, highlighting that companies can use the data for better design of their products. So her question is like, did she go off topic? What do you think, Aubrey?
Yeah, this is tricky. First of all, when you say data, that's sort of implying
Yeah,
information stored on a computer.
right.
So, luckily, just using the word data, the examiner could see that as okay, we're on topic here. This
Totally.
is, you don't always have to use, you can't use the exact language in the topic, and it doesn't
Right.
have to be an exact paraphrase, exact synonym, as long as you have the meaning of the topic in your essay.
Totally, totally. However, data, like the direct paraphrase of data, and again, like this depends on how she wrote about it. We don't know.
Right.
Like we don't
Exactly.
know what the surrounding words were. But just going by what she said, I mean, data is just a paraphrase for information, right?
Right.
So it's not directly saying that it's stored on computers. Oh wow, there's a siren going by. I don't know if
Hope
that came
everyone's okay.
so the point is, guys, that it is a sort of indirect mention of it. So it's enough for a 6 for task response. But not seeing her essay, I'm not sure if she would fulfill it enough for a 7, right?
Exactly, especially where we are going to go through this and brainstorm for you guys. And it's the question is really asking something pretty specific about, is it dangerous for companies to have our personal
Right.
information stored
Right.
on their network? And
Yeah.
so to be having the reasons be like, oh, it will help them improve designs, that's a little trickier to connect to the actual topic here. We're being asked about safety.
Exactly. Exactly. All right. So, Aubrey, can you read that question one more time? And then, guys, we're going to give you some gold answers. You guys should take notes. All right. Because these are great examples of how to talk about this very difficult topic.
Yes, and like you said, Jessica, this is a word salad. Underline keywords as you go. We understand why the student, sort of misstored on computers. You would likely have to read this twice, make sure you understand what you're being asked. So here's the question. In this technological era, personal information is stored on computers by a lot of organizations and companies in some countries. Do you think this development's advantages outweigh its disadvantages?
So, I would underline personal information, stored computers, companies, and then advantage, disadvantages, right? Because this really breaks it down. This is what we're focusing on. So let's start with the disadvantages. Notice that it's plural, guys. You have to give two reasons here, two disadvantages. So I would say the overall disadvantage, right? Data breach, but then I would give two different like reasons for that, right? So first, as far as companies, and then as far as individuals. So Aubrey, how could we write about why this is a disadvantage for companies to store this information?
Yeah, we could talk about how this can cost companies their reputation. And a good example would be, even reputable companies like Target can fall prey to security fraud. In 2013, they had a data breach that cost them an exorbitant amount of money, I think over 18 million, when credit
Mm.
card information for millions of their customers was stolen. I actually
Oh
was a
my god.
victim of this fraud. And
That's
so
crazy.
it is interesting because I remember even Target, I was shocked that, a company that, at least in the US, is you would assume that they couldn't be victim to something like this. I'm
I
imagining
know.
smaller online companies that it could be a
Yeah,
danger. So this really
totally.
makes it feel bigger.
And then we could give another reason there, right? Cost to individuals. And this is the obvious one, right? I could give an example of a friend that I knew in San Francisco. He actually had his all of his personal identity information stolen, and he faced problems with the IRS,
Mm,
like these, and there's thousands of dollars spent on legal bills, in like taxes owed, all this stuff, and none of it was his fault. It was someone else
oh,
using his
terrible.
identity to just go nuts in the world. So of course I would phrase that in a more formal way, but nonetheless, I could use a personal example there. But I like how, Aubrey, you turned a personal example into a broader application here, right? Not like I had my information stolen. Like you were able to write about it like Target, this huge company, this happened to them as well.
Right, exactly. That is interesting how you can take this personal example and make it more formal with the language that we're using, right? You can write, for example, even reputable companies like Target can fall prey to security fraud. In 2013, their data breach cost them exorbitant amount, right? I don't have to say I was personally affected. It's there are more formal, more impressive ways to report that happening.
Exactly. So, for advantages, what are the advantages, Aubrey?
Yeah, so online banking. And when you have a plural like this, right? We had to have two disadvantages. We now need two advantages. I love this strategy of having sort of the blanket. And for this, online banking. So then our two reasons will be, right? Personal online banking. You can transfer money between your accounts. I'm easily able to give my kids money just by transferring money into their account. It has really made my life so much easier. And then your second reason can be direct deposit through companies, right? So then your supporting details support both of these reasons. You can say,
Nice.
as a result of these two advantages, it is no longer necessary to drive to a bank to deposit checks.
Nice, nice, awesome. So the takeaway, guys, is whew, there are some difficult writing task 2 topics. I mean, this was a comment from a YouTube subscriber. Like she recently had this task 2 question, all right? So this is a recent IELTS real question. Definitely guys, practice this. Tell us your own ideas. How would you answer this task 2 question? Find us on YouTube, IELTS Energy TV, and tell us in the comments on this video.
Awesome. Yes. And come back to the blog. We will have these body paragraphs that we brainstormed. And then, like Jessica said, brainstorm your own. Be ready for these plurals, disadvantages, advantages for these very difficult questions. You just need strategies, and you can still score 7 or higher on your writing essays.
Exactly. For strategies, guys, come to our course, allearsenglish.com/KEYS. Check it out because it helps for any question that IELTS gives you. All right, Aubrey. Wow, this was a tough one. Thanks for thinking this out with me today.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jessica. We'll see you guys next time.
All right, bye.